Aqal is a nomadic hut in Somali, and the show is about coming back home to our roots, and it's about the Somali-Australian who can walk in through the doors and feel like they belong and feel like that their culture is valued and their culture is rich. And so that's why we called it Aqal, because it's coming home, really. Hi, my name is Najma Sambul, and I'm the co-curator of Aqal. Growing up, we didn't have, a strong tie to arts practice in the sense that we do now. Our parents had been fleeing war or had, migrated, and art wasn't at the forefront of our experience. When we thought about giving people a brief, we wanted to give them as much flexibility as possible. So we said, what makes you feel Somali and what speaks to your Somali nimo, your culture, your dhaqan? Artists could express themselves authentically and showcase what culture and Somali culture truly meant to them. So Muhubo Suleiman is a traditional Somali weaver, and her contribution to the exhibition was, the namesake Aqal. She constructed with the help of Somali women and children. She has great ties to Aqal, having been born in one, having grown up in one in Somalia, something that was truly a part of her being. A lot of people found Aqal, and just seeing the smiles on their faces, and some of the women that would come to the actual Aqal have tears in their eyes.
It's something that it belongs to me. I feel very good when I see it. And even when I was in the refugee camp, I used to live Aqal like this in the camp. It's something part of my life. Even though we are in Australia, again, we feel the Aqal is our home. That's how significant it is. To leave legacy for our next generation. I feel very proud because I want young people born here or grow here to connect to their culture and take the lead of our community. And so I always say to young people, this is your future.
Idil Abdullahi brings, the contemporary Somali art to Aqal. Her ceramics are quite beautiful, they're delicate. They speak to her refugee experience, and it's very important for that voice to be heard, because being part of the diaspora and being so far away in a place like Australia can sometimes be isolating for a lot of Somali people, because when you think of the Somali community and how we've been documented, repetition of harmful stereotypes and misinterpretations of your culture on display. It's so important for people to walk into a space like Aqal and feel that they see an authentic representation of what it means to be Somali. I think African gangs, that kind of mythology and some of the reporting around it was especially harmful to young people who felt that they couldn't truly be themselves. And this exhibition would be a way for them to combat some of those limitations and limiting beliefs. So the collaboration with Snuff Puppets was one of the really ambitious efforts. We wanted to have a larger-than-life show, having seen the way that their puppets light up people and excite people. It was really important that we had that for the Somali community. A part of working with Snuff Puppets was working with the youth group and young Somali people.
We try to just bring our style of puppetry and our materials and really just let the story from the community just sort of fill the whole space, and that we don't sort of come in with any preconceived ideas about where it is that the show's going to go. It's quite amazing to see these young people and children going from having this sort of discussion with these weird puppet people to then a few weeks later presenting this huge performance in front of a massive audience.
So the story is, a well-known Somali fairy tale about a witch who preys on vulnerable people and children. Her name is Degder for us, which means long ear, and the giant puppet that was created would tell the story of Degder and how she tried to, lure a family in that were vulnerable, but she ultimately doesn't get away with it. She is completely misunderstood. I think most witches are, wouldn't you think so? Seeing the kids engage with the puppets was amazing because, you know, you saw their confidence grow, and it was just fantastic to see them engage in what was a traditional Somali story and then reimagine it into this larger-than-life show. I think the kids got a lot of confidence and they got a lot of self-assurance. They have so much belief in their capabilities now, and they know that they can contribute to the arts and feel that they can stand on their own 2 feet. And so they're just so excited by the arts, and that's what makes me so happy. And I think it was important to do a show like this for the young generation of Somalis living in Australia to connect with their culture in a way that felt meaningful to them.